Hello, Al Pals. This is Big Al, and welcome to Big Al Presents. And tonight, Big Al presents a rewatch of the 1956 sci-fi classic. It is epic in every way. Forbidden Planet. Lesley Nielsen, that's right, of Airplane and Dracula Dead and Loving It and Naked Gun fame, his very first feature film appearance. Though he did others that year. This is technically what they consider his first film appearance. I'd like to welcome everybody who is with me tonight. Of course, the usual suspects. We have the Klingon cleric, Troy Pacelli. Say hi, Troy.
Hello. Hi, Troy.
we have Troy's infinitely better looking better half.
Yes. I have
Nanette,
to agree, yes.
Nanette, also known as Netter of Netter's Network. How you doing, Nanette?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on tonight. And I'm going through the people in the chat and saying my hi Huns in there. So, look for your name.
That's good. I would do your name, but I can't really do an electronic sound. So I could. What would be close to a theremin? Although, as we now know, a theremin was not used in the soundtrack of Forbidden Planet. One of the little fact nuggets that I had all ready to go, but Soundagraver beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Let me try like Nanette in frequency.
Ooh,
like frequency modulation. Nanette.
Wow.
Wow.
That
was awesome.
That just blew away anything Al had ever done. And Al's done pretty good stuff.
And Troy is muted.
And I should be.
And of course, the man who, if it wasn't for him, none of us would be here.
True.
The myth, the man, the legend, the aspirational one himself, Professor Geek, in the house.
Hello. Everyone knows me.
Did I get a full introduction, Al?
I don't think you did. I was already to do it, but you kind of jumped right in. It was almost like you kind of introduced yourself with that wonderful rendition of that. Let's hold on. And last, definitely not least, and in fact, probably first in everyone's book, the incredible, charming, lovely, and super talented Sound Engraver. Welcome, Sound Engraver. This is actually the first time you've been on my channel, I believe, for a rewatch.
I think so. It's been Troy's channel and the Props channel, but not your channel. I'm so honored.
You had to earn it. And you have had to earn this place of glory on my channel, and I must admit it was well earned, well fought for, and probably earned a place even higher than the others here in the chat, even myself.
And what a movie to commence it too.
Yes, Forbidden Planet, one of the all-time sci-fi classics. I mean, when you say 50s sci-fi, almost everybody thinks of like the cheesy, flying saucer movies, and the flying saucer, Earth versus the Flying Saucer, and all those kind of things, or like the weird little alien monster movies trying to steal very buxom, barely dressed women, and things like that. But there are some absolute gems that come out of that period. Forbidden Planet is one. Another one I'm sure we're going to do one day, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Some other ones I like, if anybody knows, When Worlds Collide. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that one. That's another real good one. Of course, War of the Worlds, which is a personal favorite of mine, because considering I saw that for the first time in a double feature drive-in show with Star Wars.
Nice.
That was a drive-in double feature picture show, as I butcher the Rocky Horror Picture Show theme, but whatever.
Wow.
But Forbidden Planet, just an absolute. Although I dare say perfect, almost in a lot of ways, but still holds up today in its effects. The storyline is classic. It's a lot of firsts. It literally inspired every generation of movie maker who's dipped their toe into sci-fi, including George Lucas and
Gene
a lot of
Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry, and even to the thing where like a lot of the stuff from the show would show up. If anybody watches Twilight Zone, you have seen that ship, these clothes, that robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie has shown up in various forms. I mean, heck, he was even in the Wonder Woman show, I believe.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yes. No, they had a sci-fi convention episode in the 70s year version of Wonder Woman, not the ones when she was in the 50s, which I actually prefer.
40s.
That's what and Major Boomer is going, what's wrong with Earth versus the flying saucers? Absolutely nothing. Ray Harryhausen did the effects, and they are fantastic. Just, there are better ones. Yeah. Now, let's get to the chat. Let's say hi. Now, of course, there's a lot of people wondering who was first. And I think Sound Engraver was technically first, I believe. Of course, her comment disappeared. I think the first non-team member of the rewatch crew that didn't post, I think that was Mr. Matchstick, wasn't it?
Yep.
And for those who showed up, wow, it's actually showing Netter being number one. Although I did see Melissa Harris was here earlier. So.
Right, Melissa posted before me saying that she was first, and then I posted that was like the 4th or 6th thumbs up, I forget which, but I was the first comment because second comment because I didn't see any other comments before that. And then somebody else came on and said that there were comments days ago, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, not days ago, considering I put it up, I think this morning.
Yeah, it was first thing this morning.
Yeah, I woke up in the early morning and just for some reason just started posting things. I don't know why. I just was like half asleep. I'm surprised I got it right.
Well, Mr. Matchstick's Weeb Watch has been up for a week already.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, I was working on the picture and just the concept, and I just wait till the last minute in case anything happens or something.
It's a beautiful picture.
Thank you. Yeah, I unfortunately couldn't fit the two of you because I just didn't
love us enough, and it's fine.
No, I was going to put you put you like staring out of the little flying saucer, but I just couldn't get it to look right. So then I thought, you know what? They don't need to be here.
They don't need to be here.
And I was thinking fan man.
We don't have to be here now.
I mean, the Electric Monster, but you never know if he's going to make it or not.
Yeah, that would have been awesome if I could have had that happen. But I thought about that. I just didn't. I just didn't have the time or gumption to really do it. I've been in kind of a malaise the last few weeks, as everybody knows. My mother being away, I miss my mama, and but like I said, I want to thank the professor for coming by yesterday. Drove a couple hours to help me organize some of my books. I always kid about how many books I have, and now I have a witness. How many books?
It was so the pain on his face trying to get him to choose which ones to give away and which ones. I would say, how about this one? He's like,
I wish this was filmed.
It was some of them were darn painful to get rid of, and then like I did one, and then I was like, nah, keep it, no, get it back.
I felt like I was inflicting this pain on him. It's like, this isn't me doing this to you, right? I'm just holding it up.
I know. It needed to be done, and I felt like those people in the hoarder shows when they're going through their stuff. And what are you going to throw away? But I think I did a very good job.
You did.
Maybe
you did.
Half. I think I got rid of about half of what I had.
Yeah,
maybe
cut out a lot of space. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally feel you because our front room is our library now, and in order to make the books fit, I had to get rid of a lot. I ended up getting rid of 35 boxes of books, and I love books. But it was
I do too.
What do I keep? What do I get rid of? And I finally just decided to be ruthless. And it's like, I don't need this book. I'm never going to read this book.
Right.
Or I've got 2 copies of this for some reason. or whatever, and ended up doing $35.
We have
Just
far
to-
more doubles
Just-
than we should.
Just doubles. Okay, Professor, how many copies of the Buck Rogers movies?
Oh my
novelization do I
gosh.
have?
Like 5 copies, and I wasn't allowed to get rid of a single one. Well, I want that one for this project, but that one I need because I made a fake cover on it.
No. I think I kept 3. I think I kept 3 of the 5.
All right, maybe
Okay.
you gave away one.
But yeah,
what
I
you
mean
said.
it's one of now to explain why I had that many copies. I love Buck Rogers. I love Flash Gordon. I love the retro, but Buck Rogers is to me over Flash as far as my preferred of the retro heroes. And I wanted there was several books that have been written in the Buck Rogers lore universe, or used him as a character, and I wanted him, and I had to buy several different lots of books on eBay, and they almost all included the novelization of the 1979 film. So that's how I kind of accumulated that many copies. It was because I was trying to get, I got to get Mordred. Oh, no, I got to get Warrior's Blood. I have to get all these other ones. And that's how I got all those. And I think I had a couple of that man on beta, I believe. I don't know if you came across that one. But
I don't think so.
I hope you did, because that's one of the major ones to game.
I don't remember the titles. I was just holding
Wait,
them up.
did you say Batman?
No, that man on beta. It was a novelization sequel to.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're looking for Batman, I can just put him on DVD for you.
No, but I did make I had a little pile for each of the. I wish I knew that I wanted cookbooks. I would have started setting some aside. Now
we
maybe
don't need them. Trust me.
Okay. Yeah, after a while, there were a few I kept purely because for sentimental reasons, but everything else was just yeah. It's like I gotta get rid of something.
Where are you guys queued up, by the way, just so people can get ready if they want to watch along with us?
Yeah, I was getting ready to that. Just as the lion begins to roar, and you start to hear a little of the electronic music.
Gotcha.
If I'm at like the 2-second mark, so basically if you do start at 0 or 1, 2 or 3, you're pretty much good with us.
Sweet.
Gonna be like I said, Forbidden Planet, one of the great films. It's a kind of a version of The Tempest. I'm gonna have to rely on the professor and everybody else who's seen The Tempest or read The Tempest. That's one of the Shakespeare plays I'm really not familiar with. I know Prospero and I kind of know the idea, but I think you can really bring a lot more into that, Professor.
Sure.
As for me, it's just a kick butt cool sci-fi film with a great retro look, wonderful effects for the time, and incredible sound.
Oh yeah.
Soundscape. I gotta say Soundscape because it's
Thank
like
you for,
beyond
oh my
a
gosh.
score.
Thank you for saying Soundscape. I can't believe it's Soundscape.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's not so much music as it is
Yep.
a blanket of sound that surrounds you. And I'm so glad to have Sound Engraver here to watch it.
Yeah.
But if everybody could get around the 2-second mark, Mr. Matchik is saying, please wait 2 minutes making popcorn. But that was at 10:12. It is now at 10:14. You've had enough time for your popcorn, my friend. And next time, buy a bag.
Is this the
I'm kidding. I'm kidding because I love. But what you had something, Sound Engraver?
Oh, I think. Did you say 2 seconds in?
I'm about 2 seconds in, and so I'm glad you did get the file.
I'm 0, but I think it will be okay.
Yeah, we're all right. We're all good. Like I said, just as the lion starts to roar, maybe a little before that, wherever you are. But yeah, don't go beyond the lion. Okay, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Mr. Matchstick says the popcorn is done. So we have a go. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
So a little bit of synchronicity on this. Nanette asks me, she says, you've seen this before, right? I said, yeah. In fact, it very much inspired basically the whole story of the cage, the first Star Trek episode. And then today, you guys probably saw, I posted, there was a big online series of panels today being hosted by Star Trek Online with a bunch of the Star Trek people. And they mentioned specifically something about the Forbidden Planet. And I'm like, hey, we're going to be rewatching that today.
What a shock. What a shock. And a lot of people that, you may know later on that are in this film that you may recognize, like fans of $6 Million Man will recognize what's his name, Richard Anderson.
Oh, right.
I believe, who played Steve Austin's boss. And you have Warren Stevens, who plays the Doctor, who played in an episode of Star Trek. Played one of the Kelvins from the Andromeda Galaxy, and by any other name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See you, Wolfton Media. Thanks for popping in and hanging out for a bit. I think he's got to go on Ishii's channel.
Yeah. Take it easy.
And I just want to make sure that I said, hi, sweetie, to Professor Geek.
Thank you. I was feeling a little neglected. I had to draw attention to myself.
A lot of the history they give, of course, they get incredibly wrong. But I do love the spaceship that they use here. It is like I said, they usually either use a flying saucer or a modified rocket ship. But I kind of dig this ship because it kind of works. But this, I believe, is the first film ever to depict a crewed Earth ship that goes through interstellar space faster than light kind of speed. Entirely takes place in outer space.
I just think Lesley Nielsen's a great leading man, like a straight leading man, not the goofy comedic that he became so well known for. He did a really great job of that kind of Captain Kirk-like leader.
Well, it gets across, he's an actor, he can slip into one role or the other because that's his job.
Yeah.
Adrian Blimmer put, didn't the poster for this hang in the background of The Big Bang Theory?
May have.
Probably did, sure.
You were saying it when you introed this too, Al, that this was not one of the when people think 50s or 60s sci-fi movies, they think of the cheesy, really kind of stuff like that.
Right,
it's funny about this time too, the distinction came about science fiction. Well, actually, first it was scientifiction. Hugo Gernsback coined that term. It was one word, scientifiction, scientific and the fiction, a fusion of the words. But then it shortly just became science fiction. It's easier to say. But then to call it sci-fi was actually a derogatory name. It was like, oh, you're sci-fi, it was supposed to be and then you had a movement of people like, no, we're call it SF because we're serious about it. It's literary or something. So it's funny, all those movements, but now people just say sci-fi and they're fine with it. It's serious stuff.
So what was confusing is when the Sci-Fi Network came out and it's SYFY. It's like, is that sci-fi or sci-fi?
Yeah, or sci-fi for branding. Yeah. But yeah, that was silly.
Their original name and branding was perfect. It was sci-fi. It had a little Saturn-esque kind of thing.
But anybody could use that because it's a technical term. They couldn't really make sure that
So I like that Al introduced this idea of soundscape, and that the sound effects and the soundtrack are using the exact same methods to compose and generate sounds. And I'm very specific about generating sounds. I mean, just even with the apparatus and the equipment they're using, this was highly advanced means of producing electronic music in the 50s, because this is really when electronic music was taking hold, especially at a time when processing power was millions of dollars. And they're using you had to really almost be like an electrical engineer to produce these tones, because even though it's electronically produced, it was using a lot of analog, because what electronic music essentially is, especially here in this time, is voltage control.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
they're
okay.
generating sounds through different
Yeah.
means of frequency and amplitude modulation.
Yeah, and I read somewhere, I think it was on Wikipedia, they were talking about the Moog synthesizer, but this was like like 8 years before that was even developed. That what they were using, they built themselves.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the Moog synthesizer really didn't take on until probably the late 60s, early 70s, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, like I said, they developed the circuitry, all the circuits that did all the whizzes and pops and and everything like that.
Yes.
That was all them, and they were not allowed to be nominated for music score because they technically weren't composers. They were
That makes sense. Yeah.
technical. They were technical people.
Right.
I like that the guy looking out at the viewport said the Lord still sure makes some beautiful worlds. This is one of the things I loved about this kind of atomic punk era of science fiction, is that everybody wasn't atheist yet when it came to the science world. So you would have, you didn't have to be technically of a religion. I mean, Ray Bradbury really wouldn't label himself, but there was still that idea of the wonder of a creation and a creator. So you had that kind of I don't know, just added a sense of wonder to the science fiction, a different kind of wonder from the purely technical of today,
And just look at the effect of the planet and the viewport.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Matte. I think it's matte painting.
Yeah.
But it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it looks like it's digitally done. I think it's better than a lot of people what they do today.
I love seeing, you got everyone in their uniforms, and then you got the cook there. The whole
Yeah.
atmosphere is just like, a naval ship.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yep.
very much that attitude and feel carries into Star Trek, and really what we expect to this day, if we had a space going, Navy, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And the cook, who portrayed by Earl Holliman, I believe, is the only surviving member
Really.
of
Oh, wow.
the cast. I believe so.
I also like the fact
I think it was
that
just last year we lost Warren Stevens, the one who plays the Doctor.
Okay. I like the fact that the movie is, I don't know, so many minutes in so far, and it's a science fiction film. And we're in space, but we stuck with just the crew on the ship. Very close, very confined. We're with the humans, because that sense of wonder in the early science fiction was about the exploration,
Yeah.
this continuing mission to seek out new worlds, for Star Trek or whatever. And nowadays it would be like we go straight to the alien world and see the big CGI monster and all this kind of stuff, and I like that we can get the human drama first. It's nice.
May I interject with one more thing, and that is, how they're doing a lot of radio technology right now to see communications and all of that.
Mhm.
Well, the radio technology is essentially the same thing as the electrical engineering used to generate these sounds. So FM and radio versus FM used to produce kind of a soundscape as well. It's the same science.
And isn't that what you're saying about the electronics and the engineering and everything? Isn't that what George Lucas would originally envision for Star Wars before John Williams kind of steered him in the epic music direction? Or did I hear that wrong?
Unfortunately, if that's the case, I don't think it would have the same effect as we have it here in the 50s, because
Gotcha.
right when Lucas is producing this, up to year 79, Moog synthesizers had been around and also had been really effective in rock bands. So it'd be kind of that kind of cheesy synthesizer music.
Mhm.
They would have probably considered that wouldn't have worked as the electronic music works in this soundtrack.
Yeah, I think we could all say that John Williams soundtrack, perfect.
Oh yeah, sure.
There's no other music that could have gone with that.
Well, I just remember hearing that Lucas wanted more of a science fiction-y kind of sound, and I always wondered what would be an example of that. And hearing the way Sound Engraver explained this soundtrack, it kind of sounded like it.
And think about what you just said. When you think science fiction-y track, you think of the frequency modulations and sound effects from this. This film really did set a standard for decades.
Reverse the polarity.
Of the neutron flow.
Yep.
We're just doing the neutron dance.
We're not reversing the polarity. We're confusing the polarity. Sorry, I love that line. Woo, woo, woo. I just love that sound as they're landing.
And I can tell you what that is if you guys are curious.
Absolutely.
So what they're doing is actually, I think, probably a bit of frequency modulation with a ramp up in pitch, but they're superimposing it with another carrier frequency, and they're adding it through a tape delay or reverb. And look at that art. It makes me so happy.
It's nice.
Beautiful. It's just a beautiful. The colors, everything is just so beautiful. And I love the repulsor, the animation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When they are landing, it was hand drawn by like a Disney artist.
Oh wow.
He did all those kind of effects. I mean, we all know the monster later on, but he also did like the little shots coming from the ray guns and the saucer landing and things like that.
I did want to note that matte painting that's behind the saucer, I know of at least one other use that matte painting got, and that was on a cover for a Star Trek novelization from very, very early in the 70s.
Nice.
And I like if you look around the bottom of the ship, you see the effect of their landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man living here has already identified himself as Morbius, and that of course is a Latin term for mental illness, or being touched in the head in some which way. So a little bit of foreshadowing by names.
Well, catch me is none of those people are wearing any sort of mask for oxygen, and they're on a planet they haven't been to before.
Well, but they know that there is somebody living there, so they know it's classism, so to speak.
And here comes Robbie the robot as himself. Actually, there was a guy in there who got fired like shortly into the filming because he had what they described as a 5 martini lunch.
And look at the way he drives.
That's awesome.
I love that vehicle.
I like that, just the turn of the head. It is really cool when you can have a puppet or a robot or something like that, kind of a character, like R2-D2 later, that does not have direct. I mean, I guess you can look at Robbie and see sort of eyes, but you can't directly correlate. Okay, that's his nose, that's his mouth, that's his eye, and yet you still get that personality conveyed. I like that.
Yeah. He's one of the first robots to really have a personality. There were others. I can't, pick it out, but he quips and kind of has a little personality.
Never it before, but when he was driving in that vehicle, he kind of looked like a Dalek.
A little bit, maybe.
I understood that reference.
Congratulations, Professor.
Well, like I said, Forbidden Planet. I mean, Doctor Who was also influenced by it. In fact,
you're absolutely right.
In fact, there's a whole story. Face of Fear? There's an episode of Doctor Who I heard that's very influenced by this film. Face of Evil, something like that. I think it had face in it.
Didn't Robbie the Robot also appear in an episode of Lost in Space once?
He did.
And it was like a big deal having two other robots together. Yeah.
Robbie showed up in many forms, varied here and there. Like the little things under the dome and the ear things might be a little different in some things.
Yeah.
Can we also ask that this never be remade or rebooted?
There were talks. There have been talks. Nothing concrete. There's actually a pretty big name involved at one time.
J.J. Abrams.
James Cameron. At one point, J. Michael Straczynski.
Straczynski, maybe.
They've all talked about it. either
write a comic book. That'll be cool.
Oh goodness,
Yeah.
look at that art!
Yeah.
I could just pause it and just watch that for a few extra minutes.
You could just frame the screen and hang it on the wall. It's really nice.
Yep.
yeah.
And I swear this location here looks just like the set used in Star Trek. What was it? Metamorphosis? Was that it?
I believe so. The one with
the one that played Pulaski. The one with Zephyr Cochrane.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Pulaski.
It wasn't?
No.
I'm
The one
confusing
Pulaski
two
was
episodes then.
Yeah, she was in 2 episodes, but not Metamorphosis.
Okay.
The one in Metamorphosis was on the Andy Griffith Show at one point. I know that.
So Morbius is obviously our Prospero character, and the movie doesn't follow the Tempest to the T, in terms of story. I'll talk about that, later at some point. But of course, in the Tempest, they were shipwrecked on an island, and I like the fact that his little oasis on the planet there looks like a little island on the world, and they first come up as a fish out of water. The little fish statue there, as well.
And let's applaud the architecture here, and we're going to applaud some more set work when it comes to pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this whole building looks like Lost in Space, where the family Robinson lived.
And I have no doubt that some of these sets ended up in Lost in Space. Robbie himself did too. So
Pieces of this movie ended up everywhere. Like I said, Twilight Zone episodes. It ended up in Outer Limits episodes. Lost in Space episodes. Like I said, if you anybody who's seen the episode where the guy is imprisoned on an asteroid and they give him the female robot companion.
Yes, that was a great episode. Yeah.
These are the uniforms that those guys wore.
Oh, in black and white. Yeah, I didn't recognize them. You're right.
And their ship was in the Invaders, one with the old woman with the little tiny alien who, well, we thought they were alien. They were actually us invading her attic.
So a lot of people, again, like I said, there's not straight direct correlations, but if Morbius is Prospero, obviously his daughter is Miranda, then who is Robbie the Robot? And I tend to argue that it's a combination of both Caliban and Ariel. Because he, there's no feeling to him. He's just a tool, he is kind of used. At the same time, he is sort of, he's not a rebelling character either right here. So I don't know. We can talk about that in the Electrical Monster and everything later too.
Poor Robbie. He looked like that hurt. Make his little head like all fritzy like that. Walter Pigeon, whom I also know from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. If anybody ever saw that film, playing the captain.
Gotta admire Lesley Nielsen's character there for just standing that down. Right?
Yeah.
And Leslie Nielsen with his dark hair, which is just so, we're so used to it with that white rain of his. And
I love the classic sci-fi robots too. Even like the Robbie the Robot era. Garco was another one from the Disney. Garco was a number of things, but I remember he did some specials with Walt Disney back in the day. And if you were ever at the old Tomorrowland and rode their little Tomorrowland Transit, I love that robot voice too. Kind of like Robbie the Robot here, but Garco had one as well. They've changed that. That's kind of something that we've lost in sci-fi is those, or just like the original series Star Trek, the computer's voice. I like that technological. Now it's everything just has to look exactly human, which is cool in its own way too. But I like that classic.
Sometimes you like to have that kind of weird talk.
Yeah, it tells you that you're really dealing with some futuristic technology.
Yeah, but if you're going to have that kind of voice, you want it to be in your ship captain, right? James Kirk.
Hey, now.
I want the kind when they had the reprogrammed computer voice. Hi, dear. Remember when it's like flirting with him?
Yes.
They thought the computer needed more personality, and they gave
course.
it one.
Of course, my favorite computer voice is HAL 9000.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We can't do that sound engraver.
It's so creepy.
What do you?
That's
What
the
do you
whole
think?
idea, though, right?
Yeah, they even no. I'll set myself up for my own joke. One of you say maybe we'll do that movie and talk about Forbidden Planet later. So I'll save it.
Well, but I would argue that you kind of need to talk about these other things because
Yeah.
this was so influential.
Well,
And-
it is. Yeah, it's linked to what I said about robots emoting. So
Yeah.
Hal, who's the director of that again? Stanley
Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would always, all of his characters, he had this one expression whenever they would go mad. They would like put their head down and raise their eyes up. That was
Yeah.
his telltale expression. Any of his characters that went mad, and he actually achieved that with Hal, like with the lights and the
Yeah.
the orb. It looked like he was doing that same expression.
Yeah.
And of course, Evelyn Hampton came up with the actress that we were trying to come up with earlier. Eleanor Donahue was the one that was in Metamorphosis.
right.
in Star Trek.
From Father's Knows Best. That's right.
Mhm.
It all kind of blurs together in my head. It's
Thank
only
you,
been
Evelyn.
a long time since I've seen, the original series. So
I would totally live in a house decorated just like that
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah,
I would too.
aesthetic.
I mean, it looks futuristic, but it's definitely 50s futuristic, which is just
that
an
retro
awesome look.
futuristic. Yeah,
That's what I love
And-
about that atomic punk style.
right.
Oh yeah, with such a short skirt. It is because of this outfit that this film was banned in Spain until 67.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let it do it because of how short Anne Francis's outfits were.
What is your timestamp? I think I might be a little bit behind you.
Yeah, I'm way behind you too.
I'm at 2213.
I'm at 22:18 right now.
What's happening on screen? That's probably the better thing to ask.
Robbie is making coffee.
Oh,
Okay,
Anne Francis
I don't-
made her
don't even
entrance
see
for
that.
me.
On my screen, I have the two guys in gray sitting on the couch, and the guy in black is talking to him.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to jump ahead. I was there too, Nanette. I had to jump ahead. I at least got Anne Francis on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, now the girl in the white dress just came into the room.
I'm a
Barefoot.
little ahead.
It could be, it could be the
I'm not
compression of-
skipping ahead. I'm staying right where I'm at.
Well, it's interesting that even you talk about her short skirt and stuff like that, but the thing is, it's not like she doesn't present it in any kind of lewd way. It's all, and this is very important to her character too.
Yeah,
She's
right.
very much this Eve-like character. There's this naivete and purity and innocence to her. So yeah, she's showing leg, but it's like, is there anything wrong with that? There's no
She
shame.
has
in
no
that,
idea that
Yeah.
that would resonate with anyone. Yeah.
We young men have been shut up in hyperspace. I hope you'll make allowances too. Wow.
Exactly.
Really, just go ahead and say that to her father, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Now we're at the scene where the robot's making coffee.
And what a cool, interesting, futuristic
Wow,
way of making coffee.
I'm well ahead. It could be the my MP4's compression might make it just a tick faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems fine now. It might be just so imperceptible that it's just taken this long to get off the blank a little, off kilter.
Darn pirates.
Well, it's happened before,
And she's wearing curtain beads as a necklace. That's the one thing that kind of seems odd about the way they're using props. Okay, so it seems odd to me, maybe not to you.
So we've got here, depending on wherever we are in our film, but that we're establishing the fact that these are the first men she's seen, having grown up on the planet, and trying to figure out what makes a good man, what makes a bad man, It's so horrible. He's trying to talk down the captain to her. I don't feel free to discuss the shortcomings of a fellow officer. What was that one book I found of yours, Al, when we were going through them? It was like Captain Kirk's Guide to Women.
Guide to Women, yeah.
It was like all of the loves of
Guide to
Captain
pick up
Kirk.
women.
Step 1, be Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, step 1A, be the captain.
No, Picard didn't have that kind of swagger.
Yeah, he kind of did. He just didn't take advantage of it the way
See,
Riker
and-
did.
and right now we're at the part where she just called the deer.
Oh yeah, I'm way behind you. You guys, you're gonna be done with the movie by the time we're
Yeah.
halfway
Yeah,
through.
we're kind of far behind you, Al.
The what?
We're behind you.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
all
Way behind you.
So you'll notice that the officer on the right has a black circle. The officers on the left have red.
Mhm.
That's
Much
not
better,
rank, is it? Is that it's not division either.
Could be
rank.
rank, could be division. It could be either one. I don't think they really ever explain it. I'm sure someone has come up with a theory.
Mhm. I do. You can tell Anne Francis has had some dancers training the way
Yep.
she walks and moves, and that's perfect for her character because she's supposed to be that grace of nature, type of character.
Yeah, very specifically as she's walking, you'll notice her head. If you watch her head as she walks, it doesn't go up and down. It stays level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she just called the deer, Al, so that's how far ahead you are from us.
I'm with Al, actually.
Well, that's
I jumped ahead
because she has my file. I said sound engraver the file, so we're just so far ahead of you guys. It's
You
just
guys are
funny.
advanced.
Maybe
Yes,
you
we
could,
are.
pause at a scene, tell us where you're at, and when we get to that scene, we can tell you so we're all caught up.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll get to a.
Oh, tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was in the days before we had CG. So that means that tiger was on set with them.
Mm-hmm. Trained.
Yeah. Actually, it was that when it was attacking her. I forget. There's one part where there's actually a split shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was when it attacked her and they.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
It's a rewatch.
That's right.
You guys always give me a hard time with my spoilers, though. I'm flexing my guest muscles.
I never give anybody grief about spoilers.
Okay, we're seeing the graveyard, and he's talking about the graveyard. You want to stop? Can you pause, sound engraver?
Sure. Right now.
Okay, pause now. It was just after he talked about the graveyard, and they're heading back inside.
What's the
Tell
time
me when
stamp
you're
on
there. I'm at 27:57.
that? All right. I'll wait 20 more seconds.
Watch the repetition of this fish statue again.
Yeah.
We'll tie this together as we go through.
And that's the one that's right in between them, right?
It's like a piranha.
We're not that far ahead.
Well, no, I'm in between you guys and where the Pacellis are because
okay.
I jumped ahead a little bit I'm trying to accommodate everyone.
We're defying time. We're defining linearity with this trouble.
That's right.
Space travel has its difficulties.
Now he said the Bellerophon party. They're the ones that came from before. Now Bellerophon in mythology, of course, is the one who tried to reach the sun on Pegasus, and because he rose too hard or too high, he passed away.
Challenged Zeus, and Zeus knocked him down.
So you've got that theme of challenging nature with science.
Okay, and they're going back inside.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They just showed the cemetery. They just turned around and they're walking back in. Yes.
And they're walking back in now. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're all synced back up again.
Nice.
I'm sure we'll do that a couple more times to make sure everybody's at least in the right general vicinity.
So I noticed that her dress had fastenings down the back. How does she do that herself?
Maybe Robbie helped her. Can you imagine the things that Robbie has seen?
Well, considering he doesn't have eyes, I don't think he's really seen anything.
Honey,
see, look at him. Look at him. It does look like a dollar.
I know.
Women can button up their own stuff in the back. I've had to do it tons of times.
Looks like a Dalek with a wagon attached.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 2 moons.
What a beautiful shot.
I love this art. The mountain,
Yeah.
kind of the Japanese look of the gardens.
Oh,
And the night
definitely,
cape.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, so Morbius, Latin for like a mental illness, somebody who's gone crazy or gone insane. Alta is Latin for high, and which of course not the drug high we have a connotation with here, but I
Right.
think high like a higher
Altitude.
form of being.
Mhm.
In this context, I would say.
Mm.
I love this. He's just back there carrying this big stack of.
That's
That's interesting. With my studio headphones, they are coming from the left channel and he's coming from the right channel. Robbie is coming from the right channel.
Oh, cool.
That's interesting.
There's the one guy with the sailor cap. It's like he doesn't fit in with this.
He's
Yeah.
the cook.
yeah. He's the cook.
But the sailor hat doesn't fit in with the uniforms.
He kind of reminds me of Dr. Morgan.
I like how he gets sucked up in the magnet. That's awesome.
And I like that the commander is mischievous like that as well.
So Mr. Matchstick was thinking along the same lines as I was. If those red circles equal red shirts like from Star Trek, does that mean they're canon? I don't know. See, I'm not sure if they have divisions the same way, it's defined in Star Trek, but it's entirely possible.
I like how the commander kept looking back too, like where's he going with her? What's he doing? What's okay? All right, that's fine. He's keeping an eye.
I love this little get together that the cook and Robbie have, and I know you guys are probably not quite there yet.
That's
But,
where we're at.
All right.
oh, okay. Stuff.
Just for cooking purposes.
Whoop.
Ooh, yum.
Right.
He just drank all your bourbon.
And I think they call it they call it Rocket Age bourbon as a play on Ancient Age bourbon.
I love that
which is a real bourbon.
there was the burping sound when he said he's
Yeah.
analyzing.
Yeah. That's how a lot of us analyze.
Well, which is actually quite reasonable because it's moving the liquid around. You could absolutely have some bubbles, which is effectively what a burp is.
For Futurama fans, there'd be no Bender without Robbie the Robot too. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Bender's not the first drinking robot.
I wonder if that personality trait for Bender was based on that scene, even, or at least a reference to it.
Oh, yeah, could be. Wow, those eyes.
Yeah, she does have incredible eyes.
This is called a kiss.
And what is its purpose?
He's biting that female.
Is that all? The last thing a man wants to hear. That's
Just
it.
just once more, if you want. I don't want.
Not at all.
Yeah, the guy doesn't want to hear that at all. I'm trying my best.
He's trying to put up a good front, but you can see that pride just sliced in half. I love the command. I like the slight slant that the commander wears his hat to as well. It's just a sort of because part of his personality, he's a leader, but he's not above playing jokes. He's not above,
he's a bit rakish. That little rakish slant. Yeah.
Interesting that the trees are a bunch of smaller trees twined together.
Yeah.
It's got the effect of myrtle, which is kind of makes it look like that pear.
Yeah. Almost like a lot of heavy vines entwined.
And maybe with a little more length, just for myself, I would have that dress.
It's very pretty. I like the sparkles.
Oh, love it.
That's all.
She's like affronted. I designed it myself. Like, how are you?
Now, as they're talking, there's a lot of stereophonic space happening because I hear it in my studio headphones, the sound traveling from one ear to the next behind my head.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is more interesting than electronic music. I'm sorry.
But now that you bring it up, I can see it's kind of mirroring the emotion of their conversation too.
Yeah, it's going from left to right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see where she got no stimulation from the first one. The captain definitely has gotten some emotion going.
Yeah, he got a reaction.
She is definitely stimulated.
Because he didn't just accept her.
Right.
I really would like those wall pieces because I didn't know they lit up into those little light nodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think my mother has something like that on her wall, without the lights, but it looks familiar.
That with lightsabers. Yeah, I want
Nice.
Now, Nanette, her hair's real, right?
She's doubting it all the time now.
Nanette hasn't answered.
Yes, I did. I said, as far as I know, it is real.
Oh,
cool.
didn't hear you.
Good. It's
usually, usually if it's like super long or they've got a lot of volume to it, a lot of times there's an extra piece added on.
Yeah, that's nice.
Robbie, isn't a real robot, though. It's a guy in a suit.
You know what?
Just ruin it for us, Troy.
He's a real person to me, okay?
Robot lives matter.
Yes, they do.
See, so Robbie does make the dresses for her.
Mm-hmm. Trying to please him. He had to earn that.
I did like where he goes, radiation proof? No, just eye proof.
I don't recognize the sculpture in the background. Did any of you?
I'm not familiar with it.
Can't get a close enough look.
It's just a dude saying hi.
And the rock structure that is kind of going along with the architecture. It's like Gondor, Minas Tirith, It's
nice. Yeah. Good reference. Yeah, it's like built into the land. I like that.
Now, is that moon waxing or waning?
Well, it's hard to say because we don't know the orbital direction.
Wasn't it smaller in the last shot, though? I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong.
But I love the camera effect here.
Yes.
We are at a certain perspective.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear the sounds that I'm hearing going on
Yep.
the left channel?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that. doo, doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have earbuds in for the TV, and I'm hearing it as well.
Like I said, the sound in this is just so phenomenal.
Just move to the right.
Yeah.
And it is, the bunks are very much just like a naval ship's.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of how they generated those kind of boom sounds with their electronics.
Mm-hmm.
They are using a bit of frequency modulation with the higher tones, but I think what they're doing with the lower tones is adding, whether it's an analog resonator or an electronic one, but it's a resonator of some kind. Where
I swear it honestly sounded to me like an oil drum being struck with a very soft mallet.
Mhm.
it may, and then adding a delay effect to it,
Yeah.
or reverb, it may be that too.
You know, the piece that he's holding in his hand, the one that was Sabotage, it looks like a piece of a still.
Yeah.
Like a moonshine
it does.
still. The copper wiring and all.
I can see that, yeah. So, well, with Robbie the robot there instead of a Caliban-like character, then you got the monster as well. This misses out on the native aspect, which honestly Shakespeare didn't even want to really show up too much in his Tempest anyway. Shakespeare wrote the Tempest after reading Michel de Montaigne's on natives. Montaigne was the creator of the essay, basically the personal essay, and wrote this pretty famous, or was well distributed essay on finding different natives with all the exploration that was going on to the New World and such. But there was just this excitement about it, this adventure about what are you going to discover on the new continent and stuff like that. And you can carry over the exact same excitement to the 50s when there's that excitement of different planets and the space race and stuff like that, you know? So I just love the fact that basic human archetypal story, whether it's a new continent or a new planet, it just continues to reassert itself at different times.
Well, you also point out the lack of a native. Yeah. For narrative reasons, you're supposed to interpret the creature as being a native until you find out later that's not the case.
Yeah. And that would lead some people to argue that at that point anyway, that's more the Caliban creature, but you're right, you find out more of.
And those little bubbly sounds that are kind of a little bit nebulous, it's just adding a lot of reverb. But to be honest, I don't know how they electronically generated reverb. I'd have to look into that, how they did it that early. They might have just recorded reverb sounds and digitally produced it, or through a tape piece, like tape, a tape piece. But I am not sure. I'm not an electric engineer.
Well, then why are you here?
Sorry.
You stay right there and keep your eye on that door. The art, you know, we've been talking about like the sculpture, and there's little obelisks on either side of the couch too and everything. So there's that mixture of antiquity, you know, of permanence of old empires with the new that he's trying to do there with the planet and his own little colonization or something, you know, scientific or whatever.
He just trying to keep his hands busy.
You sure this wasn't the scene that banned it in Spain now?
Well, I'm sure a lot of them led to it.
I would say, man, if If they had produced Chronicles of Narnia back in this time, this set work would have been perfect.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I can see that for like a boy and his horse, like the mid kingdom of the High Kings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's nervous now.
Very concerned.
She was wearing a bathing suit when she got out.
Yeah,
which
you
is
barely
very
see that,
thin.
but very flesh colored too. They were trying to allude.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Now, I just noticed those walls in the back were all green, and I'm thinking, oh, were they going to put some sort of effect over that? No, this was. That's not how that works.
Sometimes a green wall is just a
green wall. And back then, it definitely would have been.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you at her in her new dress yet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, new dress.
Okay.
But if you notice the Pegasus painted on the wall, I mean, that's really
Oh,
symbolic.
jeez.
And
Oh gosh.
the real question, though, is it a Christmas movie or not?
Well, she was wearing red beads before. Now she's wearing green. So
Absolutely. What do you think, Al?
I think I'm going to mute somebody if they don't watch it. No, I'm just
I mean, I would certainly not make the argument that this was a Christmas movie, but I do associate it with Christmas because
he's getting quite a gift. I'll say that.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. When I saw this movie the first time, it was during Family Classics, and I always associated Family Classics with Christmas time. Family Classics was a local weekend film show on WGN.
Oh, listen to that ethereal pitch as they kiss.
Mhm.
That is cool.
That is cool.
He's definitely hearing an ethereal pitch, let me tell you.
It's ethereal, but it's still like otherworldly ethereal too. You know, it's
Oh, I must be ahead because the tiger just got back.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you're ahead
you're
again.
right.
yeah, we're just right about
There
the
it is.
scenery.
Yeah, he just killed the tiger about 10 seconds ago.
But
Yeah, he hasn't
there's a
killed him yet. He just growled.
there's a change now. She engaged in, it's that ancient that thought in a lot of antiquity that there's a magic to virginity. Once you've crossed over that adult threshold or whatever of sexuality, you lose that touch with nature.
Mhm.
And that's right back to the
Yeah.
Garden of Eden with the shame of nakedness and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually one of the concepts I read when I was looking up the movie was that's why the tiger attacked
Yeah,
was that she was the virginal creature. She was the virgin with the unicorn, but now her losing that
Mhm.
At least spiritual
Yeah.
virginity that she wasn't able to have that same relationship.
So
I'm
unicorn,
glad
not
you
Pegasus,
clarified.
Professor.
I'm glad you clarified that because I actually thought that had to do with Morbius's subconscious.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I mean, no spoilers. I'm sorry.
Well, it could too, but people have also interpreted it that way.
Best set work coming up. And this too. This is just stunning.
Love that desk.
I love those lamps.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
I would totally take a study like that.
We need a Professor Bitmoji in that chair.
Absolutely. Make it happen, Al. Or Troy, one of you.
Oh, that entrance.
And I want Al as Robbie the Robot next to me.
Oh, I love that cut of the entrance there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Of course, with the talk of the Krell, which of course kind of almost sounds like crawl, which is the rewatch in 2 weeks.
Nice segue.
I was actually thinking of Krell, as in General Krell.
Oh, nice.
Wow, all the connections. Very good.
And I'm trying to remember what the hang on, let me look it up. The Krill. Yeah, so the witch that was in charge of the island before Prospero landed in the Tempest was Sycorax, depending on how people pronounce it. But that's the Krell analog. Or Krell is the Sycorax analog.
Sycorax, wasn't that a Doctor Who race?
Yep. Yes, it was the Sycorax.
Lots of Shakespearean and mythological references in science fiction.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, you even mentioned Caliban. Caliban was the name of one of the robots in one of the Asimov novels.
Yeah.
Love the Krell music, but it's hard to dance to. But it's better than Vogon poetry. See if how many people get that reference.
Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yep.
Yep.
I love their ray guns. Just that little bloop, 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 bloop,
Mhm.
bloop, bloop.
I love the sound of sci-fi ray guns too, whether Star Trek or this or whatever.
To actually have generated this early in the 1950s is actually pretty impressive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, you got the compression on your file must be getting you slowly ahead because we haven't gotten quite to the. They're just walking through the door now.
See on my screen, the fellow in
They're
brown
walking
threw a
down
little
the
tiny
hallway,
capsule
yeah.
into what looked to be a lava lamp, and now it's making noise. Now the guys are walking through a tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the heavy metal of Krell music. Krell metal.
Okay, tell me when they go inside the workshop.
Okay.
Like after he shoots the door and then he like opens it with the weird.
Yeah, he's shooting the door now.
Oh man.
There's
They're walking
They're
for
turning
me.
the
They're walking
dial.
right in. Oh, and look at the opening of those doors.
the door
I
has
know,
not
it's really
yet,
cool.
but he shut the door, and now he's touching the door like, why didn't it work?
And it's opening.
Yep, it's
now
opening.
Brian Brown is opening it.
Okay,
Yeah,
and they're
we've
going inside.
We've seen that in
Okay,
Star Wars too. The even the blast doors and stuff in the
Right.
ships. The way there's all those different shapes
Open
of
the
opening and
blast
stuff.
doors. Open the blast doors.
But look at this room. Look at those lights. Look at the geometry and the floor.
They just
Mhm.
entered the room.
But that's good. I like that you said geometry. You're absolutely right because it's like hinting at like the technological advancements of the race or something, you know.
Yeah, cones, rods, spheres, everything in there.
You were talking about when you first saw this, Troy. I remember when I first saw this movie. I was a teenager, so I hadn't read Shakespeare or anything like that. Well, no, I don't think I read The Tempest, but I just happened to see it. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. But it was weird watching it because I expected it, you know, as we were saying at the beginning of the stream, I expected this kind of old science fiction movie to be cheesy and to be silly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I kept watching it, kind of trying to make it cheesy or silly in my mind because that's the era of like MST3Ks on and stuff.
Mhm.
But it just wasn't. It just kept like drawing me in with the story and really, you know, kind of going into some more profound places. So it's quite cool.
Yeah. So here in the Chicago area, WGN is the network that originated Svengoolie, and it carried, you know, the Bozo Show, and they had family classics, and Fraser Thomas, who was the what do you call it, the at the circus, the guy with the top hat, the ringleader or whatever, he was a local celebrity, and he would do this. He'd come in and he'd sit down and he'd talk a little bit about the classic film we're going to see, and then he'd open up the book, and then they'd go into the movie, and this was one of them. And this was really how I got to see a lot of the classic movies, was on Family Classics. But for whatever reason, I always associated it with the holidays, because that's really the only time the family kind of got together and watched those kinds of movies.
And Family Classics was on Sundays around 7 p.m.
Yep.
All right, this is where they get. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And they would actually play like kind of classical music for his opener.
Right.
This is where it's drawing on the speculative.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an early prototype of Cerebro.
But I like that distinction of the speculative, because I've had these discussions with people. Some people argue, well, all science fiction is speculative because, that's, you don't know or whatever. But no, you can do a basic prediction with your science, but then you do cross the line over into the speculative.
Mm-hmm. And then as that happened, notice the electromagnetic apparatus went straight up. It didn't come down.
Mm-hmm.
So his subconscious might be at work.
I like the way they're measuring their intelligences and stuff with this thing.
I didn't mean to interrupt, by the way. I just got
No.
It's kind of like that the breath test they'll give you in the hospital sometimes, like blow and try and blow the tube up. And this guy can't quite get that little ball up the tube.
Well, and that
commanding a starship doesn't need brains.
And this looks like this thing that they're trying to move. It looks like the central core of the TARDIS control room.
How do I make an image? How do I do that? I want to fire the rocket.
Don't press that button. Can this thing make popcorn?
I'm going to slip away for a second. I've been trying to replenish my liquids from all that sweat yesterday all day today. So I'll be
You're
back.
going to miss the awesome set work.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I should wait a second.
It's a rewatch. You've seen it already.
I'm just wondering if I should mention what I noticed yesterday.
What did you notice yesterday?
Remember what I mentioned to you late in the day?
Late in the day.
I said you must have sweated a lot because...
Oh, because I never went to the restroom once.
Yeah,
he did there.
Not once, for hours.
All the liquid was just right out of my forehead.
Basically, he peed right, all sweated pee all over my room. I guess
That's kind of a crude way of putting it, but okay, sure.
Oh, really?
Thanks for making it weird, Al.
You are welcome, sir.
You might have a shot, Professor. Go now.
Okay, I'll be back.
I kind of want a bookshelf that looks like that steel piece in there right behind Morbius.
The round
I
one?
want lights flickering around it, like what's happening over there.
That would not be difficult.
That'd be what?
That would not be difficult.
I don't think it would be. Sorry, I have the movie a little bit higher volume just to hear the soundscape.
Yeah. Okay, I'm at the place where they're getting into the little shuttle thing.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Tell me when they sit down.
Okay, yeah, I'm not there yet either. All right, they have they're about to sit down for me. Yeah, they've sat down.
They are just going into the tube, and they are about to sit right now.
Okay.
And now we're looking into the untempered schism or something like that.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Oh, the depth.
Warp speed.
Yeah.
And this is,
I can't be the only one who gets a Willy Wonka vibe from that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was actually thinking, making the jump to light speed or whatever,
But also the Wakatania.
Oh yeah. Round the world and home again. That's the sailor's way. Okay, my mind is just boggled by that. Were those miniatures? Was that, matte painting?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
I also saw a little bit of the tracking, device, the tracking. What's it? I'm blanking. In Star Wars, when Obi-Wan disables the tractor beam.
Oh yeah.
With the bridge across and stuff.
Oh, that's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's very much like this.
It's a little bit too like, who's that? Gosh, I'm blanking on all kinds of stuff again. But the name of the artist who does like all the stairways up and down and plays with perspective.
Oh,
Escher?
who is he?
Escher, yeah, Escher.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Now, as the beam is emitting, you hear that distortion on your left headphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That electric crackle, yeah.
It's just stunning animation.
I mean, and some of these electric tones are so realistic. I can't imagine that they're not actually using a Tesla coil or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no doubt. I'm sure they're producing a lot of machine electrical sounds.
Yeah, now I can definitely see where the stuff on the right and below them is all a matte painting.
This just makes me so happy. This
I
art.
know.
But then those lights have to be done. That has to be animated somehow in post-production.
The fact that this did not win the Academy Award for visual effects is a travesty.
I was thinking just that word.
Do you have any idea what did win that year?
Let me find out.
It's probably the prejudice against genre movies or something.
That is true. Wasn't science fiction looked down on this
Very
around this
much,
time?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. So how they get that pitch to slowly rise up is using another modulator signal that's very slow, that maybe might span one cycle over 2 or 3 seconds. So kind of thinking of long range frequency, radio technology from one satellite to another satellite in space.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So where those panels just came all sparkly.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The winner that year was the 10 Commandments.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Was it nominated though? Was this film nominated?
It was nominated. It was that and the 10 Commandments were the only two nominated.
Okay, there's hope for humanity.
A little bit. Still, though,
I know.
But
the consistency of the visual effects, the amount of them, I think, is
what you were saying about
Greater.
the frequencies and what we know about the monster and stuff like that. There is that theme, so it's it's the opposite of the carbon-based life form. So if the Krell, if that's their music, if that's the sound of their technology, and then the nature of the this particular beast and whatnot is it's a frequency, it's an airwave kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And if you could think about, our brains are just a lot of frequency, of course, measured at on a different tier.
And that's perfect because that's where he's measuring his brain waves and creating with the brain waves. Yeah, that all ties in.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that Robbie not only recreated the alcohol, but the bottles and the labels too.
He's a craftsman.
It's not like he just put it all in a big barrel or something and said, here you go. He's like, here's individual bottles exactly the way you gave it to me.
Did we lose Nanette?
Looks like it. Yeah, I don't see her on there.
I'll see her. Well, I guess I wouldn't see her in the backstage, so it's for you to see her.
Oh, she's having a computer problem.
Oops.
Oh no.
I love it when these footprints start to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's got that Invisible Man effect.
Yeah. Bloop.
Man, terrifying.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Especially that front claw of a toe,
Yeah.
Like bending the steps as it goes up.
It's an interesting effect.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many ways that effect could be done as a practical effect, and I think it's very clever.
Yeah. And it sure doesn't help that this. Oh, someone screamed. Sure doesn't help that the sound is quite uncanny.
Yeah.
Now, notice the difference in color of Alta. No longer the white purity, untouched. Although still a gorgeous dress, like that gold or silver stripe. I can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
Nanette should be back in the green room.
Oh, there she is. Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome
You're back.
Yeah, it's like the computer froze and then just wouldn't do anything. I'm like, what the heck?
That dress also
I've been there.
Right.
Really matches kind of the starscape in his background and also the lamp on
exactly.
his head.
Yes.
Yep. You know what would have ruined her look? High heels. I love that she's wearing flats.
Yeah.
Well, she needs to be grounded to the earth, but isn't she? But she wasn't wearing sandals before. Now there is some sort of separation between her and the ground. Part of it, but that makes sense too because when Soundscape just said her dress mirrors the starscape and whatnot. Before she was very much identified with the land. Now she's identified with the out there. It's part of her progression there.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there in the world, there is that cast of the claw. Makes me wonder who has it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're ahead of us for a second. Okay. Yeah, I see that. That is creepy.
So, like a giant turkey.
Except, I was associating that with the head. Yeah. But that's not a head. That's one single claw. Right?
Like a raptor claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I was making a Jurassic Park reference with the giant turkey.
Oh, I probably haven't seen that movie in like 25 years.
Is it that old?
No, I don't think so. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
making up a number, but I don't know.
Jurassic Park has its rabid fans, though. I mean, it's a great movie, but I remember when we did the rewatch, I think it was just Al and I at that time, and I couldn't remember some of the names, and somebody commented the next day, is like, I cannot believe you didn't remember so-and-so's names. This movie is a legend, and it means everything to me. And I was like, whoa, it's good, you know? But
Calm down.
Exactly.
It was a much better book.
Okay, I'm sorry. That cook looks like Neil Patrick Harris.
I can see that. We got to toasting each other's good health.
That always sounds so bad. Burial detail. All I see is Dalek now.
We're just at the burial now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that way he wears the hat, just to just cue in for his character.
And I love her outfit now with the little hood attached.
Oh yeah.
And that's, she's covering up. I mean, not literally covering up, or anything, but that covering of the head. It's like Eve and Adam sewing the fig leaves or something.
Mm-hmm.
I actually see it looking a lot like Princess Leia's outfit at the beginning of Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
See that. How old was Lesley Nielsen in this movie? Do you know?
I don't know, but I can find out.
15.
15.
He does look young. He looks really young.
Yeah.
But
Like
don't
I said,
call
this
him
is
Shirley.
first- Well,
Troy, what's your
he
time
was 30.
Third. Okay. I want to.
Yeah, born at 26.
I
Seeing
just
that
hit 113.
Okay.
Seeing that Robbie the Robot vehicle, I kind of want to rig the lawnmower I drive up like that. Want to rig a Robbie the Robot in front. Maybe I'll put Alyssa in that. That she always likes to get rides from me. I can put her up there. She can have her little Titanic moment while I'm driving her around.
Is this the big reveal?
I do love that. I do love those blaster effects.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Well, little blue bolts.
They're like pulsars.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Nanette? The big reveal? What?
I didn't say that. Sound Engraver did.
Oh,
I hadn't seen this movie in a few years. Is this where they see his? Well, I mean, this is a rewatch, so I can say it. I think.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's where.
And I've never seen this movie, so I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
You've never seen it? Wow.
we're ruining so many great movies for Nanette during the
Well,
But we're also exposing her to movies.
yeah, you're causing her to actually get around to seeing some of these
That's
movies.
true.
Yeah.
All right, here it comes.
There you go.
See the villain has this really weird theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's that coming back to this resonator motive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I just noticed those 4 little points on the squares move independently.
Yeah.
Huh. But the sound, the resonating sound you're talking about, it's almost like footsteps too, or a approaching heartbeat or something.
It's like a
Heartbeat.
depression, but yeah, before letting up off the ground. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love electronic music, but this is weirding me out.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention how this really does affect you as a listener and as a viewer. I don't think you'd have the same effect with an orchestra with a movie like this.
True.
Yeah.
That's that alien landscape feel.
Right. You can't have instruments that
Yeah,
are part of Earth. Exactly.
yeah, and it kind of keeps you always like a little nervous, which
Yes.
you should be on an alien planet.
Yes.
Well, and think about the situation they're in. They have no frame of reference.
exactly.
You know, and that's kind of how the sounds kind of make you feel.
And you could see all their nervous faces and they're looking for it.
I mean, think about that. A stalker that you can't see, something that's invisible, you know, up until this point in their life, they probably never would have even imagined such a thing was possible.
Oh, no, I know it's animated, but
yeah,
look at those
Freaky.
jaws.
It's always for freaking.
I see a little bit of the Balrog.
Yeah, kind
A
of
little
like
bit,
that,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And if you notice, it has a goatee,
Really?
just like Morbius.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Very true. Okay.
Oh, I didn't make that
I
connection.
never noticed that before.
Yep.
Takes on one guy. And so
Now
what's
think
happening
about
actually,
that.
what's happening with the sound is it's a man screaming, but through some sort of reverberation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you need these guys to get, you need to see that physical being lifted into the air, being knocked away, because you have to wrap your head around the fact that I'm looking right through this thing, and yet it's got substance, you know?
Those look like little squirt guns.
I like the descending Pac-Man in the workshop. Well,
Oh yeah, they do look like
Right.
descending
that's all I see. I just see Pac-Man going down the.
He's got Pac-Man fever.
I used to have that album.
Pac-Man fever. Yeah.
I did too. I might still. We didn't go through the albums yesterday.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's an actual song.
Pac-Man
Yeah.
fever. Yeah.
It was an
Walker
album full
Garcia.
of video game songs.
Every decade has to have its album of, you know, weird novelty songs.
Go Froggy go. Ain't gonna stop till I get to the top. Go Froggy go.
The
Did you guys-
70s. Huh?
I don't think nearly enough people saw Dr. Yeisley's video I posted in the Facebook group where he did the stop animation that time of Al and I when Al was singing Zippity Doodah. Because like 2 people liked it, but then it got buried under a bunch of other posts. I'm like, this needs a lot more love. You did such a good job with that.
That was good. The Godzilla effect, like even like when I was thinking of the lyrics.
I'm the knight, and I'm asking you if you can sing Zippity Doodah. And then you got the pensive look, and you look back up at me and everything while you're singing. It's perfect.
Did I get that right?
What's frightening about the speculative is that you have no control over it. There's nothing you can do. The
Well,
person who's in charge of who's the cause of this is the only person that can stop it.
And especially when you get to the cause of it, I mean, this is your psychoanalyst, this is your id. You know,
Yes.
this is, that unchecked part of Morbius's psychology, even, that.
And that's really conveyed in this visual art, because even though you don't really see direct tears, you see the lines of the ship, you see the mountains, you see the horizon in the back, and the scape, and then the ground, the flat ground, and then coming to the rocky ground up front. There's a lot of these different examples in the visual art with layer. So you have the of course, layer like the psychology, the conscious, the pre-conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious.
That's perfect. Yeah, the levels.
Like an onion.
Yeah.
I would say
I knew Troy was going to say that.
That pizza was so good yesterday.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yep, and the rest of it was good today too.
I had pizza that stunk.
Just sprung for the better brand.
Yep.
Oh, what kind was it?
Well, apparently I didn't know this because it was on sale for $3.50, but it had Oprah's signature on it. It was Oprah pizza, and it was awful. Yeah.
Well, that'll teach you.
There was more bread than cheese. I was like, you think Oprah's audience will lose the weight with more bread than cheese?
And you'll hate my pizza. And you'll hate my pizza.
All right. I will be back.
It's interesting going into their home now without all the lights, without all the way they want it perceived and presented. Now we see it taken off guard, so to speak. Well, except for Robbie the Robot, of course, but
Robbie's faster on the draw.
What is your guys' interpretation of the symbol on their hats and in their ship and stuff?
A comet.
A comet going through like a ring of a planet, or
I know. I just see a 6.
Or it could just be.
It could be like it's just like it just has elements of space stuff. It's like comet. It's Saturn. It's.
I mean, like I said, I see it as a comet, and if that red ring is anything, it's a comet entering an atmosphere.
Well, I was wondering if it's supposed to be evocative of their ship, because is a sort of military symbol or something like that.
Sure.
Their ship has the ring around it and stuff.
With the tail being like a contrail or a
I don't know. It's just a thought.
representation of the motion. Sure. It's possible.
And there was no hesitance or whatever. I mean, the two of them are connected now after that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with that sculpture in between them in the background, which I think is I can't Google it right now while we're talking and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the sculpture and whatnot, like the obelisks on either side of the couch, have to do with empires of old. So he's on this planet. He called it my planet. And he rules there. It's to his whim, even down to his daughter and robot and so forth. So it's that the fall of Ozymandias kind of idea. Apparently, my phone thought I wanted Google to tell me what an obelisk is.
This scene very reminiscent of the scene when Dr. McCoy puts on the thinking device from Spock's brain.
If I'm not mistaken, I think alarms and sirens are an example of frequency modulation. So it's a nice tie to every other sound effect.
Oh, nice.
I love the metallic weave in the couch.
Yeah, that's makes it
So
sparkle.
old fashioned, very
Yeah.
old fashioned. I remember a lot of old couches and chairs had that kind of a effect.
I think that couch would make my skin just get really red.
It
Yeah,
looks
I was gonna
itchy.
say,
Yeah.
it's very that those
It
metallic
is-
strips tend to be coarse.
Yeah, kind of a sandpaper effect.
But style is more important than comfort.
It's a good couch to die on.
Yeah, he's not complaining about it being too coarse.
Now, of course, in The Tempest, Prospero goes so far as to orchestrate the meeting of the prince with with Miranda to orchestrate their romance and even test the prince to make sure he's truly worthy of her and such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been about 8 years since I was a musician for that play, so I need to actually review that play again.
Well, I like the fact that, this movie can play fast and loose with the story, which is fine because Shakespeare himself wasn't an amazing story man. He was an adequate story man, but he ripped off people left and right, as anybody did, playwrights did in his day. What really put him on the mark was his amazing poetic use of the language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which got better as he went.
Mm-hmm.
His earlier stuff was not great.
You didn't like his earlier stuff?
No.
I mean, I definitely see a progression, but I liked it.
Now, actually, Prof, you may know this. I'm not sure, but id, I think, is a term for the unconscious, right?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like when the unchecked psychology, that's your that is your.
It's like the primal unconscious.
You've got your id, your ego, and superego, according to Freud.
Mhm.
So, that was before Jung altered it to the other terminology. So your ego is who you are. Your superego is who you'd like others to perceive you as. Your id is that part that you don't want anybody knowing about. That you
Even
can't
yourself.
I was just
yourself.
going to say, you oftentimes deny it to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's actually what Morbius's character is doing.
Mhm.
Right.
He's denying what's happening.
Yeah.
What's funny is you guys are talking about it, and I keep thinking of this comic strip that I used to read when I was a kid
Yep.
called The Wizard of Id.
Wizard of Id.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the best comic strip.
I was a Farscape man myself.
I just
mean
read
Far
Garfield,
Side.
Charlie Brown. A Million Years of Shining Sanity. And again, the name Morbius. Krell is even a it's got a German derivation of the word claw, and it can kind of refer to sort of the Middle Ages, which makes sense, right? It's the race past, and you got the claw. Is all they could see of it at first from the cast.
You were observing earlier her, from bare feet to sandals, and now she's got some heels on.
Mm-hmm. Leaving the ground, leaving the planet.
That's nice, yeah.
It's you.
This is so terrifying. I just
It's that sound, that impending, approaching kind of sound coming after you.
And you see the devastation just out of reach, but it's on its way.
Mm-hmm.
that's like the first sound effect like a knock at the wall, but then they use some sort of phaser modulation or something.
Oh, like a natural Foley artist kind of sound effect before they go back to the.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Is there a strong wind blowing somewhere there?
I was just scratching my ear, and I think it might have
Oh, okay.
come through the mic.
Oh, Robbie!
I know.
No!
He knows.
Ugh. It's kind of it's so terrifying that you can't see it. All you see is
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
But that's
ripping-
perfect. That's perfect for the id because it has no face. You just see the effects when it creeps out in your personality and the consequences of it.
Yeah. Man.
It's the same kind of feeling as the stalking creature in your dreams. You
Mhm.
know, what is more fear inspiring, seeing the horrific beast or not being able to see it and not knowing how far it is from you.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Magic reminds me of the South Park where they run away from thing. I know what he's talking about. It's pretty funny.
I like that line. We're all monsters in our subconscious. You know, obviously the id. That's why we have laws and religion.
Yeah.
And again, it just goes full circle into the idea of basing this slightly on the Tempest, which was based slightly on Michel Montaigne's essays, which are all about sort of the idea of what's a civilizing agent, government, religion. What makes us a population of natives? What makes them savages or just a different civilization?
Yeah. I mean, Troy loosely said once about, the thought of killing someone when we were watching film noir. But if his id actually existed, that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Troy, I didn't mean to poke at you.
No, it's absolutely true.
All I see is Pac-Man now.
See, this is what I love about these rewatches. We can have a really deep conversation. We can, this, hard introspection, and then all I can see is Pac-Man.
Sorry, Alyssa's obsessed with the Pac-Man series on Netflix, which is actually really cool. So we have to watch it all the time, and
The
now that's all I
cartoon
see.
series?
Yeah, the cartoon.
I loved that show.
Basically, like a superhero
Yeah.
from Pac World.
And
Now,
this
is it's coming up.
burning through the wall.
Yeah. This is so important. What he does next to stop it is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen how strong that material is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's saying a lot.
It's got to be toasty in there for them at that point.
Yeah.
He has to accept what he has of himself before he can purge it.
Because here you have his id threatening to destroy the superego. If you want to look at Alta as his superego, the thing that the best of himself that he wanted to live on, and you can't, and it will destroy it if you don't acknowledge your id and or as Jung said, integrate the shadow.
Yes. This is the one scene I do remember the movie.
Mm-hmm. And it's using all the power of the Krell to burn through the door.
And that kind of primal look, because it's burning through the door, so you've got this sort of hellish, escape in the primal self, kind of the most base self, just almost demonic, force.
Here it is.
Looks like melted cheese.
And he's denying it, but he's also it's denying of self in some
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
It's denying the ego. And it takes everything out of him.
Yeah.
It's like it's like it just turned in on himself.
Mhm.
And he acknowledges the captain as son.
Mhm. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good catch. It's like when at the end of what should have been the last season of Clone Wars, when Yoda's facing his dark self on that planet,
Yes.
and he's like, I've dealt with my dark side a long time ago, and the dark side said, nope, you won't play with me anymore and stuff. And Yoda says, accept you, I do, but you will not control me. You know?
Yeah. Good scene. That was a good arc.
Yeah.
I agree with you that there's some stuff that they didn't need to do, but they did need to bring it up to the last movie. They had to end the war.
I'd rather have had Cad Bane training Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
It's a big shiny red button.
Oh, he's back. I forgot he's back. Yeah.
I love how excited you are about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
What, Robbie?
Yeah. I totally forgot.
Yeah, you got
It's been about 5 years since I saw the film, so I remember this scene though when she sees the planet.
It is. So the hood
yeah.
is down now, and it looks like a cape.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of cool,
I like her dress a lot.
right?
Oh, here it is. Man. Yeah, that would be hard.
It's Alderaan.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, I can see so many little things that you can see it inspired
Exactly.
and you repurposed.
You just killed my planet.
To be honest, I did forget how good these lines were.
Yeah.
And then he pets her head like, it's okay. I just destroyed your planet, but it's okay.
I think, and Morbius did die after that, right? When he instructed the captain.
Yeah.
Reminds us that we are after all not God. So again, that idea of
Yeah.
the Bellerophon and whatnot.
And it's actually with Morbius, I mean, he wasn't a bad character, but that's still a form of repentance, a version of repentance.
Yeah.
To deny the ego.
I agree.
And like you say, he's not a bad guy. He just unleashed the worst part of himself.
Right.
I don't want there to be a remake of this, but tell me this wouldn't be a great lead into a series or deserving of a sequel.
Nope.
It stands alone.
I could see
nobody now could actually do it right.
I could see starting a series from a similar premise, but I'd want this classic, stop just stealing the names, Hollywood, just for brand recognition. But no, I understand what you're saying. Like that would be a great premise for a series.
It does come off as like a pilot episode for a series.
I do want to say, I know that the movie is finished, but I really want. I would love this to be kind of this to be an example of how electronic music really should be a part of the science fiction genre.
I can see that.
Maybe I should talk about it on a live stream or something. I don't
know.
There you go.
and mood over melody.
Yes. And I applaud Al for saying soundscape, because that is an actual term. And it's so important. A lot of movies, I do think, from the movies I have seen, really do miss the mark when they use the symphony orchestra, because it's just too close to home with the symphony orchestra, unless you did some very some extended techniques. But this is perfect as they did. Just epic soundtrack. 2 thumbs up.
So just, I mean, like I said, it's and I know I love the term. It's iconic. It is. It's one of those few films that's almost perfect and should never be redone, because if they do it, they won't get it right.
It won't.
It's such an overused word, Al. I wish you would just,
Yeah.
No, that's the joke of our iconic pages. And
yeah, everything's iconic. Well, I'm glad everyone liked Forbidden Planet. I'm glad I chose it. And I am glad that the person that inspired that I choose it so quickly is here to enjoy it with us, Sound Engraver.
Yay!
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you for choosing.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's just great. I mean, there's all the words that are like great, magnificent, fantastic. They all apply.
I think I know you guys have got your Saturdays scheduled out for a while, but I think we should definitely return to some of these classic, well done science fiction, like the ones you were listing at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely want to do War of the Worlds. That's a big one I want to do.
It's a great novel too.
Yeah. Like I said, when worlds collide, and there's just a lot of great ones that are out there that stand. I mean, they stand the test of time. They, like I said, you look at this film and those effects stand up very well. They don't look cheesy. I mean, the design, of course, the designs are very that retro 50s, but they that's when it was done, but they still look futuristic.
I love the 50s sci-fi art. I like the 50s and a little bit of the 70s, but the 50s and 60s, especially for the covers of the classic science fiction novels. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Of course, Forbidden Planet has their posters considered one of the great posters.
I have that a smaller version, but I have it.
Yeah, which is Robbie. Well, I mean, you've seen, if you saw the thumbnail for the rewatch, you had Troy B. the robot holding Nanette in his arms. Of course, that never happened in the film, but it's still a very cool image, which, like I said, makes that poster so.
We see the kinship too.
So great
between Robbie and Alta, or what's
no,
her name?
It would have been funnier if it was me holding Troy in my arms.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
I wouldn't have looked as good in the dress, though.
Yeah, the dress would probably weird us out more than the.
Well, I do believe there is another image where he is holding one of the crew. But of course, people want the short-skirted, hot little girl. So there you go.
I'm sure Robbie does too, in his own.
Yeah.
Quadratic, interpolated, nonsentient way.
Even
after the booze.
Still a man, right?
Oh, I forgot about the booze. Yeah.
We were toasting our good health to each other.
That was funny. Well, I'm glad everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed that. Hope everyone enjoyed us talking about it. And of course, now is the wonderful time in the show before we say goodbye, where we find out what is coming up.
What is coming up?
What is coming up? Well, I know tomorrow night, Mr. Mashstick has his Weeba Watch.
Looks like
where he'll be watching anime. So they'll be watching the first 6 episodes, I believe, of Cowboy Bebop. That is tomorrow night. On this, what?
I said, what else, Uncle Al?
I'm getting there. And then there's Monday night. And then there's Monday night with the
thank you for mentioning it.
Charming, lovely talent. See, I would not forget. I would not forget. Monday night, the lovely, talented Sound Engraver. Well,
I would not forget.
What is the You're only upset because you did. What's on tap for this week?
Yeah. And I noticed a lot of artists here. Wolf 10 Media, and I won't scroll the chat to see, but I'm sure you guys are there. Some artists. I'm gonna talk about how to keep producing art during difficult times where, you know, in a year like this, we can easily feel scattered. And so some ideas and suggestions how to keep the art moving and going and creating. And so it'll just be a general stuff. And so if you guys out in the chat, just let me know, you know, what kind of art you do, and maybe I can try to apply my composing and, you know, musician chops for that, and see if we can find some applications. So, oh, and theme is endurance, because you got to endure to produce art. Just endure.
Indeed. Very good. If there's one thing that 2020 is teaching us is endurance.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday night, Professor, what do we have on tap for this Tuesday?
Tuesday Night Noir, we are going to watch Otto Preminger's amazing classic entitled Laura with Gene Tierney, Dana Andrews, Vincent Price even. Excellent film. Super classic. Classy even. I love it. I put the trailer in the Facebook group. I don't know if people saw it, but it's got that sweeping music, and it's almost like you know, Gene Tierney, you see her character very classy. You know, the party's like men wanted to be with her, women wanted to be her, but who on earth would have ever wanted her dead, you know, or something like that.
Nice.
Got the little mystery. It's really great. So that's Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's a movie by Mr. Freeze.
Yes, it's just Freeze.
Or Freeze would. Wednesday, nothing, I believe. Has anybody planned? Nope.
No.
Thursday on the Professor's channel, we will have the next 4 chapters in the Star Wars Scoundrels book. What are we calling it? Book club?
Study?
Book study?
Study.
Book study. Okay, book study. That's
learning.
chapters. We're learning. We're book learning. And that is chapters 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's what, as you say.
I believe. I think
We did through 12 last time, so yeah, 13 through whatever. 4
13,
from
14,
that.
15, 16. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Friday night, he said he'll do something. Fan Man, I believe, is going to do something this Friday. We're not quite sure what it may be. All depends on what kind of news there is. And of course, the Fan Man is also going to be Tuesday and Thursday, 11-ish in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. He has his Second Cup Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely tune in for that. That's a great show that he does there. And then next Saturday, Troy.
Oh yeah, next Saturday, Happy Accident. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio and the
Marissa
gorgeous Marissa Tomei. So yeah, I believe that's what
The
YouTube
Kingpin
is.
and Aunt May.
Yeah, that's a story to be told. Is that on YouTube? For some reason, I think it's on YouTube. Or
Let
am
me
I
take a
wrong?
look.
Something was on YouTube. I forget what it was.
Accidents.
Mr. Matchstick says, mind if I steal a lot of your noir talk, your archetypes for Cowboy Bebop? Absolutely. You go for it, Mr. Matchstick. That's what they're there for.
It's on
He means
Prime and
absolutely
it's on
fine.
Sling.
What's that?
Never mind.
Sorry.
It's on what?
Go ahead, Troy.
I'm seeing it on Prime for rent, and I'm showing it on Sling with a subscription.
Okay.
Okay, those Sling commercials are super creepy.
Yeah, they are.
You guys want to sling tonight? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
With Ron Swanson and Tammy too, for those Parks and Rec fans out there.
I will say though that I also I was gonna do the live stream tonight before we did the rewatch, but I got caught up in having mommy time, and she was been on vacation, and I haven't had a good visit with her, so I sat down and hung out with my mother. But I will still do the live stream, It's maybe, I don't know, next few days or whatever. I put the thumbnail up on the Professor Geek Facebook group to kind of tease. It's called something like "That's Enough with the Anti-Heroes," and it'll be
How dare you talk about spending mommy time with your mommy when you know I can't do it?
Sorry, that's payback for the cat stuff.
I was just thinking that.
Okay, now I'm gonna make Al feel bad.
I'm glad somebody picked up that.
And
See how easy it is.
Now, Al, I'm gonna make you feel bad. At least your mother remembers you. My mother has dementia and doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Perspective, Al.
Yeah.
I so want to say something about his cat, but I won't.
Don't you dare.
Hey, speaking of which,
How is Marlo?
How is Marlo? Yeah, I haven't seen Marlo. That's
Oh,
I'm a little
no.
concerned. Well, he's gone. He's disappeared before and then comes back. So I did even when I left or stepped away earlier. I did check out the door just to make sure, see if he was there.
You named him Marlo. He's strong-willed. You know, he's got a mind of his own.
He's got skirts to chase. He's got booze to hound. Yeah. No, he's pretty sure it's Yeah. I'm sure he'll be back. I got food ready for him. I bought plenty, so we're good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you have someone else in your life again.
It's been a while, but I'm ready to get back out there.
Okay,
we got to get the professor a date. We really do.
But it is time to say goodbye.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
We were doing it on Fan Man Tonight last night. That was
painful.
Funny.
I like a little bit better.
We just got started, and before we know it, comes the time we have to say goodbye.
Wow.
Yeah. There you
That
go.
kind of reminds me of my mom singing me to sleep.
Oh, you should have shut them up much earlier than that.
You know what? This is Big Al's channel.
Thank you.
It's true, but he get the hard time he gives me on my channel. Come on, I got a little license here, don't I? I
like that sweet voice, Nanette.
Thank you.
That was very lovely. But yes, thanks everyone for joining us for this Forbidden Planet rewatch and our general weirdness afterwards. Like I said, just keep track. Don't forget to join Mr. Matchstick for Cowboy Bebop tomorrow night. That is the next event on the calendar. So everyone have a wonderful night. Enjoy your Sunday, and yes, it is already Sunday. So have a good day today, and after you get a good night's sleep. Farewell, everyone. Have a great day and take care.
Bye.
Hi.